What is going on?
I can see the future.
Oh, what the hell? She didn't see that coming? That's not how it works.
Ezekiel Sims. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
No idea what those girls are about.
If you want to live, you have to trust me.
You're showing off. Maybe a little.
Disney and Marvel, I don't know if you noticed this. They had, a couple of mentions this weekend, a couple of things to talk about. Most specifically, the Deadpool Wolverine movie that people are actually excited for. Many people think, oh, is that going to save the MCU? Is that going to save Marvel? Superhero movies are back. We're so good. We're going to do a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man, and we're going to replace them with terrible, diverse female actors. And we're going to call it Madam Web. Why? Because we know better, and nobody wants to. Everyone knows that nobody wants to see Spider-Man anymore. They want a bizarre story about a character that nobody knows, that nobody cares about, and you, the consumer, are just going to buy it. Whoops! 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 Now, I don't know who's going to share the losses here, as this is a Sony project, and, I don't know if Disney actually paid for the rights, to be totally honest. But it has an 18%, and that's from the critics. That's from the critics. I assume that 18 must identify as an 81, though. That's from the critics. Madam Web currently at a 22%. It's actually 18% Rotten Tomatoes. The only Sony Marvel film with a lower score is Morbius at 15%. Both films written by Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless. Looking like a cringe CW show, Morbius might actually be better. At least we got the memes. Dakota Johnson, terrible cast for this movie. Madam Web continues disastrous Rotten Tomato trend for Sony's Spider-Man universe movies, because Morbius was actually in the Spider-Man universe as well. Even Rolling Stone, a leftist media outlet, wrote, Madam Web isn't as bad as you've heard. It's so much worse. Pictures are going viral of people buying tickets to see this movie and having every single seat available. This guy posted, my Madam Web ticket just has been purchased. I hope it's worth it in IMAX. You can see, now again, I don't know if this is real or not, but a single seat in the entire IMAX theater. That's it. Oh my God, is this real? Is it very real? It's very real. Glad you managed to find a seat among all those Valentine's Day couples that are rushing to the cinema for it. One seat. Even Rolling Stone. Again, this is rock bottom for woke Marvel superhero Disney movies. It's it. The trailers are designed to stir up excitement. The amuse-bouche that whets your appetite for a 3-course meal. Occasionally, the oldest marketing trick in the book backfires. When Sony dropped a sneak peek at Madam Web, the newest addition to the company's roster of Spider-Man-related films, and another of its corporate crossovers with the good folks at Marvel Studios, the reaction was not exactly what they had hoped for. The same fans they were hoping to get riled up about a batch of fresh Spidey-adjacent characters began to mock the clip, ripping into everything from Dakota Johnson's extremely decaf line readings to the curiously low-rent look of the visuals. One deadpan line of dialogue, "He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died," became a meme in all the wrong ways. Blood was in the water now, and the amuse-bouche had somehow become chum. Some of the merciless ish-talking could be chalked up to old-fashioned fanboy misogyny. Of course, fanboy misogyny. With online trolls ready to tear apart anything remotely associated with lady superheroes, where were all those people making fun of the Scarlett Johansson superhero movie, Black Widow? Did anybody... I feel like they did all those misogynistic trolls take that movie off? I'm trying to remember. Or Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. With online trolls, okay, the fact that the movie revolved around one of the more obscure players in the Spider-Verse didn't help, making it feel as Sony was scraping just above the bottom of the barrel. And the odd mix of hyperventilating crash bang boom business and a lack of wattage from the cast made everything feel like it was one step away from parody, an SNL fake trailer disguised as a real one. It pinned a kick me sign on the film's back, which felt blatantly unfair. Yes, the teaser wasn't selling this would-be blockbuster well, but wait until you see the thing, until you make a final judgment call. Why? I'm not giving you my money. Why would I give you my money? So Rolling Stone's like, well, yeah, you have to give Disney your money. Otherwise, how do you know? Well, now having seen this tangled up IP Gossamer firsthand, we can say that Madame Web isn't as bad as its somewhat botched promotional campaign might suggest. It is in fact way worse. A genuine Chernobyl-level disaster that seems to get exponentially more radioactive as it goes along. This detour to one of the dustier corners of the Marvel content farm is a dead end from start to finish. It's Cats the movie of superhero movies. Not a single decision seems of sound mind. Not a single performance feels in sync with the material. Not a single line reading feels as if it hasn't somehow been magically auto-tuned to subtract emotion and or inflection. The sole amazing factor of this Spider-Man spin-off is that someone, somewhere, signed off on actually releasing it. Has Dakota Johnson been in anything good? How does she keep getting acting jobs? She was in that softcore 50 Shades of Grey series, which nobody thought she was some kind of great actress for, just that she was willing to be in a prawn. All of which boggles the mind because it isn't like they skimped on bringing on real talent. Johnson, an A-lister, cast as a paramedic. A-lister? I've never even heard a movie. I can't even... What? She's gone from being the 50 Shades of Grey ingenuine to major actor. See A Bigger Splash, Suprezia, The Lost Daughter, Persuasion. Never even heard of any of those movies. Never even heard of any of those movies. What are you talking about? Sydney Sweeney is a rising star who seems to keep ascending higher and higher. She's one of 3 20-somethings cast as teens. What? I've never even heard of any of these women. And yet, from the moment of the Spirit of 73 preamble in the Peruvian Amazon forces B. Shay's Constance Webb to monotonously recite stats about a rare arachnid whose peptides can cure hundreds of diseases, you can tell something seems off. It only gets worse when Rahim, already one mustache twirl away from tying a damsel to railroad tracks, begins musing aloud about Las Arañas, the region's Spider-Men, who whiz across the treetops. These superpowered strangers happen to be real. What? I mean, the best thing about this feature is it hasn't happened yet. Someone intones near the end of Madame Web, and indeed, you look forward to a future in which this film's end credits, which, spoiler alert, are Sans Stinger scenes previewing soon-to-come plot points. Even Sony was like, yeah, enough of this already, so no post-credit scenes. Or an alternate world years from now where this has been unintentional comedy of intellectual property errors has been retconned to some sort of cult camp classic, a showgirls of comic book cinema. Until then, you're left with a present in which you've compelled to cringe for 2 hours, pretend none of this ever happened, and ruefully say the words you've never imagined uttering. Come back, Morbius. All is forgiven. Madam Web continues disastrous Rotten Tomatoes trend for Sony's Spider-Man universe. I mean, why can't they make a good movie? How come they can seem to make Spider-Man good movies? I mean, this is one of those things where, like, you just knew. Everybody who saw the trailer was like, this movie sucks. It's like when they want to release Agatha, for example. Nobody's going to see Agatha the movie. Nobody cares about that character. And when it bombs in the movie, in the box office, they're going to blame men. Of course they will. Men didn't want to see this movie. Men don't want to see, strong female superheroes. Except don't forget, don't mention, don't mention how beloved WandaVision was early on, how her character is beloved. Don't mention, why do I keep forgetting Scarlett Johansson's movie, Black Widow? Don't mention, there's plenty of female. Don't mention how many times people paid money to see the tired, worn out Harley Quinn character because Margot Robbie was playing her. I mean, I don't even understand. A weak script incapable of taking advantage of an expensive collection of comics inevitably leads to disaster. There are action scenes that never seem to be saying that what matters to the public is no longer relevant beyond justifying a brand. Madam Web embodies the pitfalls of mainstream superhero cinema, films not driven by story and character, but seemingly by studio mandates and franchise considerations. Awful dialogue combined with dopey plot twists lead to genre's worst outing in decades. The eye-rolling dialogue, cliché action scenes, and tedious characters lacking variety or valuation make it challenging to see why we need more from this world. I mean, there's nothing. There is nothing. I absolutely love it, by the way. Keep pumping out these films and have them keep being disasters. At some point, they're going to have to give us a good movie or go bankrupt, and that's fine. Either way, we win.